Hi friends, David here from Learn Stage Lighting, and in this video we're going to take a look at some of our top lighting console or software picks and talk about how to use them for theater lighting. Let's dive in. So when we talk about theater lighting and we're applying to it the consoles that we covered in our initial video in this playlist about how to choose the right lighting console, we'll link to that here, then what we want to look for basically is we're thinking about kind of two main groups of people. Okay. The first is the kind of, pretty much everybody we work with in theater is kind of in that community theater realm where you're either literally the director or the director's friend or partner who is being roped into doing the lighting, and you know nothing about lighting. You may not be that interested in it, but you got to do it. Or you're a volunteer, you're somebody else where, let's face it, in theater lighting, community theater, school theater, a lot of the times budgets are tight, like really tight, right? And that can often be kind of the biggest issue when it comes to adding lighting is, getting a controller, getting lights, getting the right stuff, it can get costly. So it's even more critical to get the right thing for your needs. Okay, let's talk about it. So, at the base level, kind of the bottom controller that we recommend for anything is the WMX1 from ADJ. It's here. These things are great and they can do some really great things. I would say for theater, these can work for kind of the base level, most simple theatrical shows. You can essentially define a number of presets on them, go between them, and you control up to 8 groups of lights kind of as a group. And so it honestly can be a really good fit for the most simple theatrical circumstances, just, a handful of different cues in a show, maybe a few special ones, but overall pretty simple. But you want it to be like ridiculously easy for someone to just see the preset on the screen, press between their different presets, and have the lighting change with different fade times or not. The huge benefit is these things are super reliable. There's no PC involved, so nothing to go along wrong there. If you have other apps installed or anything like that, it's literally just a box. Anybody can run it. It's nice and easy. It can also actually take external commands via MIDI, which can be cool. So that brings me to the second point before we look over at PC stuff. The second point is that if you want to use QLab or another program like that to automate your community theater show, QLab does have a basic lighting controller in there. It's pretty basic, but it can do simple stuff. Or it can send MIDI triggers to a device like this WMX1 and have it run automatically. No need for an operator during your show. So that can be helpful too. Let's hop over to the computer, look at some other options that are a little better suited for theater lighting. All right. So here we are over at the PC and the Mac, and we have a few options on the PC and Mac that we really do like and can extend to theater lighting pretty well. First, let's go over to the Mac and we're going to look at Lightkey. Okay. So Lightkey has always been known as stage lighting Mac style. It's really easy to use and honestly can actually do a pretty decent theater lighting show. I'd say the biggest downside that people find with Lightkey is it is a subscription, so you've got to pay for it every year for the amount of channels you need. That being said, the free version allows you to use 24 channels of DMX lights for free, and maybe you can fit your stuff into that if it's mostly conventional lights or just a handful of LEDs. You might be able to get away on the free version and just come get a DMX interface from us. We've got a few great options there. Lightkey can do a cue list, okay, where it's just a theatrical style list. As you can see, this one has 2 cues, and then you just hit play to go through the cues. Nice and simple. And when you hit the end, it finishes. And so, in that regard, it can be super helpful just because it's very simple. It puts everything in one simple cue list. You can trigger it via MIDI, okay, right here, or OSC, trigger it from programs like QLab, etc. So Lightkey can be a really good option. Over to the PC, we also recommend now my DMX5, not one of the previous versions. And it is a great piece of software that can also build a theatrical style cue list. So in the case of that, you would create a new bank and then you create a bunch of scenes for your show, and you basically just hit play to play through them. And then I could actually assign this play button over to the touch section of this app. Okay. I think I just did it. Or it's at the bottom, it's hiding somewhere. I forget the hotkey to assign it over. But I can assign it to the touch. I can assign it to a MIDI command, and then be able to work with it at will, and just have somebody just playing forward, playing through all of the individual scenes. I would say the downside to like the WMX1 or my DMX5 is that they do cost more than some of these other options. You get, granted, with both of them, the ability to output DMX. So, like, my DMX5 comes with this box. You can even program 10 scenes into the box for use without the software, which is pretty cool, just for like work lights, house lights, just basic stuff for when you're not having a tech person there. And so that's super helpful. That price does include the box, the price of the software, and it is a forever price. You get future software upgrades of my DMX5, it's PC or Mac, and so that can be helpful. If you are on a tight budget or need a little more functionality, we do often recommend Onyx from Obsidian Control Systems. Onyx has a few advantages. One is if you have used other professional style lighting consoles like Hogs or MAs, the workflow of Onyx is pretty similar for someone that has had experience with those other consoles. The other benefit is there's a free version, and there's some lower priced kind of intro versions with USB devices that give you some limited ability. Like the free version, you can use a universe of DMX. You can use it with any ArtNet or SACM node, and we can recommend a pretty inexpensive option, and just use it on a PC all day long. You won't be able to do external triggers like MIDI or timecode or OSC to be able to fire from like QLab, but it can be a really solid option. So hopefully that helps you kind of understand the consoles that we currently recommend and how they can interface with theater lighting better. Uh, the best thing about most of these is they mostly have free trials, or you can check out the tutorials and videos that we have on them to get a better idea how that workflow might work in your theater group. If that sounds good, give it a big old thumbs up we also, if you're new to theater lighting, have a free guide to get you started with lighting over at learnstagelighting.com. Just enter your email, we'll send that right to you, and we'd love to help get that into your hands. Then when you need to purchase any of these, of course, our website aboveavl.com is the place to get this and anything else you need for your show. We love to help you, and we hope you have a great day. See ya.